Happy holidays. Welcome to True Hoop with me, Jarod, Hector, and Coach David Thorpe. How are you, sir?
I am well. How are you?
Good. You are getting ready to spend some time with one of your twins. I mean, not both. One.
No,
right?
both.
Rachel
Yeah.
both. Wow.
Yeah, we're flying Max in to meet us. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. The family will be together.
For one of the rare times.
I haven't seen both of them together. I don't even know when, maybe in the spring. I don't remember. It may have been the summer, but Rachel left home for good in September and Max was gone in, May. So
Yeah.
It'll be the first time in a while. Yeah, we'll all be together.
I'm sure you and Chris, you're looking forward to that.
Yeah. What are you guys doing?
We will have a variety of friends and vagabonds come over on Christmas Day. Those who aren't traveling out of the city to go meet with family, and we have friends here who come by every year to our place for Christmas. So,
cool.
Yeah, it'll be nice because my parents are in Florida. I have my other family's in Spain. People are all over the place. So it's my brother's in Thailand, excuse me. Vietnam. See, I don't even know what country he's in. Vietnam.
It's all fantastic. Thailand, Taiwan, or Vietnam all sound great to me. All three.
Well, you know what they have that I don't have here in my 6-degree weather is warmth.
Yeah, I feel for you. My phone says it's 47 right now. It's going to be high 60s today. It was a little cooler yesterday, but where we're going, like my daughter sent pictures to my wife of snow yesterday.
Yes.
I don't think it's gonna be snowing when we get there, but I know you're dealing with it every day. But meanwhile, I've got friends in Toronto that laugh at the idea that New York is cold.
It's all relative, right?
Right.
All right, folks, we will be doing our annual Christmas Day games preview, and I thought we'd look at it a little bit differently in terms of where our early season thoughts on the various teams. Are they ahead, below, or at expectations? Our concerns, and then we will make a prediction for the game. So let's start in.
You can make a prediction for the game.
David does not like to make predictions.
Well, I thought about this because I'm not a coward in my opinions. People know I have a lot of opinions.
You have very strong opinions.
But predicting an NBA game, especially a few days in advance, is akin to telling what the weather is going to be like in 7 months.
No idea.
I know the sun's going to be in the sky, for a period of time. We know those things. There's a lot of things. We know it's going to be 5-on-5. I don't know who's going to play. I don't know how they're feeling. Any one game is so fluid. And so my only point on this, and we'll get to the games, is anyone that speaks with conviction. It's just a con man, or they're just playing a part. I don't really think they're con men. But they might be trying to con you out of something. They have no fucking idea because I don't have any idea. And I know way more than most of them. Including I have lots of guys playing in those games. And I had there's players dealing with pain we don't know about. There's players missing their dad for the first time, or their mom, or their brother on Christmas Day. The list is endless of these variables that we have no knowledge of. Plus the game, even though the ball is round, it bounces funny.
It sure does.
The rims are different. Referees calls I don't fucking know who's going to win any one game. I know for sure they don't either.
Well, to that end, last week, the Warriors played the Grizzlies, and I believe the Warriors were favored in that game. It was at Memphis. The Grizzlies ended up winning that game by 50-something points.
It was an embarrassment.
They blew them out. No one could have predicted that, right? That's just
Well, who would have thought Milwaukee would have punked OKC? Now, have you told me OKC could make a 3? I would have said, all right, they could lose the game by 15 points. But predicting that is just folly. So again, this is nothing against people suggesting, well, I think these things can happen. But when blowhards act as if they know what's going to happen, they're just playing a role because they just are talking out of their ass. They definitely don't know much about what's going on.
You are 100% correct. So we will start the games in order that they will be played. We'll start with the first game, literally 2 subway stops away from me. 30 blocks at MSG. The San Antonio Spurs visiting the New York Knicks. The Knicks are 8.5-point favorites. My early season thoughts on the Knicks. They are pretty much exactly where I thought they'd be. They started out a little bit slow, and that was integrating Cat into the lineup and Bridges, which is a big deal for them. But their offense is humming. Their defense has gotten better. Cat's been a real revelation for them offensively. He's so good in that game against Minnesota, going back for the first time. He's been great for them all season, for sure. All-star, all that. So our fear for New York has always been, what are they going to look like in April? But in December, they're exactly where I thought they'd be. Top 3 seed in the East, looking very good. Defense coming around. San Antonio, my thought was always, and I think he's a far way away from it, but I said if Victor makes a jump offensively, they will be much improved. And I thought Chris Paul would increase their basketball IQ just because he's a fucking basketball genius. Lo and behold, they are much more competent on offense than they've been in the past several years. 2 games above 500, and right now they sit in the play-in. So they are what I thought they could be. Now, it's December. Will they maintain it all season? I have no idea. But they're where I thought they'd be right now. What say you about the Knicks and the Spurs?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember even anything that I thought in September, but I thought New York would be very good, and I think they're very good. Yeah, there's OG has been a pleasant surprise in my opinion. Cat incredible offensively, Brunson pretty solid, Hart pretty solid. I looked up the last 15 games for these teams. The Knicks are second on offense last 15, ninth on defense. So
that's very good.
All right, 2 top 10 rankings. Yeah, they're in a good spot. We'll get to where we think they'll go in a second because of the health of their players to playing so many minutes. And the Spurs, I think, probably are slightly better than I would have expected. I don't remember. I think I had them winning 30-something games, so they're on track for better than that now. I don't know if they'll make it or not. Wemby's been great.
He's been so good.
He's just been great. I wrote in my notes, Chris Paul's been amazing.
Yeah.
Doing what he's doing. Devin Vassell shooting well, but down. But we're coming back from a long injury. It's going to take a while. If you think of concerns we know about the Knicks, their depth, the way he beats players up all season long. I worry is the wrong word. I don't know what San Antonio is going to do, like what they're going to look like until they get their point guard of the future. Or really just any other really good player. Any point guard, but anything. I mean, I think Devin's going to be the long-term too. They're paying him as such. So that's good. Jeremy Sochan, I don't know. Yeah. He's only 21. And so he's not bad.
No.
Is he an answer? I don't think so. As of now. Doesn't mean he can't get there. He can't shoot still.
Right. Still makes dumb mistakes. He's got raw tools, though.
Yeah. I'm not sure like where he goes offensively with that team. And Chris Paul raises the level of everybody.
Yes.
And so there's just going to be a gigantic change when at some point he's not that player anymore, which could be even next season. So
it could be in 3 months. Well, we don't know.
Could be. Right. But Wemby is enough to get him excited. And I think it's a cool thing. I mean, have you ever gone to a Christmas Day game in MSG?
Yes. It's so fun. It's super fun.
I bet it is. I'm going to do it maybe even next year.
Yeah.
I want to do that. I think Wemby there is what did you do? Did he have a 40? Did he have
against Atlanta overtime. Yeah, he was ridiculous.
Yeah. What do you have? 10 blocks and
10 he is.
How many points did he score?
40.
40, yeah.
He is incredible.
He's amazing.
And again, you and I both agree he's not even like anywhere near what his potential can be.
Nowhere close to it. Yeah, he's not even close to being Jokic.
Right.
And if he's going to be the world's best player, he's going to be more like Jokic. So,
right.
Yeah, I think of all the games of the day, of which I'm hoping to watch, I can't say I'm hoping to watch none of them. There's not much hope on Christmas Day. We're going to be in the D.C. area. I've got a Turkish sister who lives there, so we're all going to spend some time there. I can imagine putting the games on. I'm not against it for sure. There's no football in my house on Thanksgiving, but I'm happy for there to be NBA basketball on Christmas Day, especially for us. That's the game I'm most excited about, actually.
Yeah. It is fun, the MSG game at Christmas Day, because they usually are the first game on the schedule. So it means that when I used to go, you can go to the game, you have plenty of time to get to whatever your family obligations are.
Time in the morning, you have time later on.
Exactly. It's perfect. It's perfect. Look, my concerns are the same for you, right? What's the future hold for the Knicks? So the question here now is both teams, the Knicks less so because they have more cap concerns. Both teams can do something at the deadline, right? If San Antonio is in that play-in and the West is so jumbled and it's like, wait, we can maybe sneak in top 6. Maybe they make a move for somebody and they go, let's go now. Victor's on a heater. Let's do it.
I would think they might go the opposite route, which is is Phoenix willing to part with something interesting for Chris Paul, or name the playoff team that just needs help at the point guard spot. and what can they get for it? Because at that point, you kind of got to see where you're at. If you're San Antonio, Chris Paul's not going to be a factor when they're not they're contending.
Correct.
But he's not going to be a factor when they're ascending beyond just maybe making a play-in. So I could see the argument of, let's see if we can't get something for him because he's doing really well for us. And if we lose every game the rest of the season and we get a lottery pick, what we know we can be, which is basically 500 with a solid point guard. That's good to know. So now let's pivot off that. But I can see your way too. We're like, hey, let's get a 6 seed if they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know what they're willing to part.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. I don't know what value.
Correct.
Blake Wesley, Malachi Branham, Colton Johnson. I don't know if they bring anything back to maybe change the fortune.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I thought maybe they're more likely to maybe trade some of the veterans, Keldon Johnson even, and Chris, and just keep stocking up with potential picks and or young players that could turn out to be guys that really help them down the road.
No, I'm with you, and I think you also have to weigh the factor of getting Vic and Devin and those guys playoff experience, right? It's like, man, those guys need playoff reps so they know what the crucible is like. What's the value in that versus the lottery pick and all that, right? So these are the decisions that GMs get paid a shit ton of money to make. On the Knicks side, I imagine if Mitchell Robinson never got hurt, right, one of those guys would have it. Either Mitch or Hartenstein would have had to move if they were going to go ahead and bring in Cat, right? They weren't going to keep all 3 centers on the roster, is my guess.
Sure, not. Definitely not.
So what can they do and what do they need? Depth, obviously, right? But, is Tibbs even going to play depth? What are they going to get, right? And what can they get?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of think they're tapped out. I think they're just going to have to play the way they are and develop their depth. The Westchester Knicks G League team is in the finals, I think.
Okay.
I think I'm right to say that maybe in the Final Four. I don't remember, but I think they might be in the finals actually. Second year in a row. Doesn't matter if you have the players, you don't play them. So they got to play them.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, my prediction is I think the Knicks will win, but I think the Spurs will cover. I expect Wemby to have a big night on his come out night on Christmas Day at MSG and wow the crowd. He's going to do something. I mean, this is not out of the order. He's going to do something you've never seen before. That's not crazy for me to say that because that often happens when he plays basketball. So I expect to see a big game from him, but the Spurs will cover, but I pick the Knicks to win. All right, next game. Wolves at Mavericks. Mavericks are 2.5-point favorites. Mavericks coming off a big win Sunday night against the Clippers, bouncing back. Wolves fell to the Warriors Sunday night. My early thoughts on the Wolves. They struggled coming out of the gate, but it's like what David said early in the season about New York. You're taking away Cat, which is a huge part of what they're doing, and now you're integrating Julius Randle. It's just going to take some time for everybody to kind of figure out who's doing what's going on. But despite all that, their adjusted net rating has maintained, has been very good, despite their unevenness in terms of wins. And I think now that we're 20-something games into the season, that shows me something, right? Is that they are a good basketball team. They're having trouble maybe closing out games in certain instances, which of course is alarming because you need to close games out. So that's something they have to get better at. But I like that their adjusted net rating has been good. Dallas has been, my God, on a freaking heater, and they are exactly where I thought they were going to be, which is a legitimate Western Conference and NBA title contender.
Yeah, I looked up the last 10 games ratings. Minnesota is number 1 on defense last 10. So they've kind of absorbed this change, and they're back to being that defensive team that they had been in the previous couple of years. 28th on offense.
That's the problem.
Yeah, just bad on offense. And Dallas, it's an interesting, we have an interesting battle the last 10. They're number 1 on offense. 17 on defense, which I thought would be better than that. But the game they killed Golden State also scored a lot. So
yes.
10 games, 1 game can really make a difference in that data. But yes, you got the number 1 D last, basically 3 weeks versus number 1 offense last 3 weeks. So that part's, pretty good. Minnesota, I mean, Anthony Edwards was really bad last night for a while. He couldn't make a shot.
Yep.
Could dunks and layups and missing everything. Julius Randle, just okay. McDaniel down.
Yeah, he had not made the jump I thought he was going to make this year.
No,
so far.
he's been. I wrote disappointing. Ant's about the same. Naz Reid down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was watching film on him the other day, and he made a 3 and hadn't made one in a while and has not shot well. And I was so surprised when I was kind of looking at all of his numbers. They need him, and then DiVincenzo's been bad.
Yep.
And unhappy. I watched him last night. They lost the game, and he tried to score late in the game. The game was pretty much over, but maybe they had a 0.5% chance, maybe 0.05% chance to win. He needed a score on the drive, and he didn't come close. And then they didn't foul at the end because they were down multiple possessions. And you could see the look on his whole body language was, man, just this is bullshit. He's just not happy. Yeah, and every time the Knicks win, I'm sure he gets unhappier.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because you started the show saying we don't know what's going on inside with these players' lives and whatever. You think he's kind of bummed he's not with his Villanova buddies anymore?
I know he is. From people inside the locker room, he's very unhappy in Minnesota. Winning changes things. Maybe if they started winning more, he'd come around, but he's not shooting well. He's not playing well. The team has been disappointing, I think you would say.
Yep.
I would say. And I think he's unhappy.
Yeah. And look, I mean, unhappy players not going to perform well often, right? That's usually like, think about your own personal life. If you're not happy, like work probably tends to suffer, right? And other things. So this is
and listen, nothing against Minneapolis. I've been there multiple times. I was a Vikings fan growing up for no reason other than I like the color purple. I also don't like the play in the book, but I like the color purple. And I love Chuck Foreman, and old people would know the Vikings players I remembered. But it ain't New York City, man.
It's definitely not.
We have a room in my house dedicated to New York. We don't have one dedicated to Minneapolis, St. Paul. And so I think, and his buddies, Villanova, the whole thing. I think he feels like, man, I had to be the one to get traded from this group. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
And it just hasn't recovered. Meanwhile, Dallas is, Luke, I think, is going to play.
Yeah, he is.
He's been about the same.
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie about the same.
Mm-hmm.
Lively,
which is very good.
Right. Lively is ascending as we would want.
Yep.
PJ Washington's been a little better than what he was last year.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Najee Marshall addition.
Mm-hmm. Prosper getting minutes.
Prosper, he didn't play as much last night. He only played at the end because they were winning by a lot. He played like a minute, whatever. I don't know. The guys came in late, but he looks better as adding depth. And there's just a vibe about Dallas that they've been to the promise. They've been to the finals now. They've got Luke on their team. I think they're just feeling themselves. I could see them even doing a deal with Kleiber maybe and maybe some other guy and add one more piece. But Minnesota's trying to find traction. Dallas has found it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we talk about it all the time how much losing in the finals provides wind in your sails for next season and fire to get you motivated and going, right?
Yeah.
And the way in which they lost, right? They kind of got embarrassed, right? Like a gentleman's sweep. Like, so, they kind of want some get back, I would imagine. Not even against the Celtics, just, hey, we don't know how many times we're going to get a bite at the apple. We want to try to win this thing.
And this is a revenge game from the playoffs, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, because that was the conference finals. Yep, Mavericks, the Wolves. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it'd be good.
Yeah, Minnesota's McDaniels has got to be better. Ant started the year shooting really well from 3. I want to say it's maybe tailed off a little bit. I worry about
Rudy
them.
Also. Rudy's not the same player anymore.
He's on the wrong side of 30 now, right? So I mean,
he's not even close to being the same player, and that matters.
Yeah, look, the bet on Ant, we all agree that was the bet to make, but the ancillary pieces I think need to be better. And I'm not really just sure what they do or where they go from there. And I don't even know what they can do cap rise and draft pick wise come the trade deadline. They might be capped out as well with where they are salary cap. Dallas is 2.5 favorites. The game is at home. I think Dallas wins and covers that game. All right. The third game. So this is around the time when people are going to be in your house now because this game tips at what? Gotta be like 5 o'clock. Yep. Look at that. 5 o'clock. I knew it. Yeah. So you're like, all right, you're maybe a couple eggnogs in, you get some wine already, or maybe some Blanc de Blanc if you're starting a little bit later with your G-scores. You're rolling. All right. It is now Sixers at Celtics. Celtics are 9.5-point favorites. I mean, what can I say about the 76ers? I mean, no Joel Embiid for the majority of the season. Paul George has also been injured. Tyrese Maxey spent some time on the injury list. I think the three of them combined have maybe played one full game, maybe total one full game together, if that much. So they are exactly where I thought they'd be if that was the case. Not very good. Conversely, the Celtics are a team that knows exactly who they are. And they're not, David doesn't like the term cruise control, but
yeah, they're pretty much cruising.
But they're kind of just, they know, like they're not taking teams for granted and like screwing around, but they're not exerting 100% max out effort for 48 minutes because you can't for 82 games. But when they have to ratchet it up and get stops and get scores, they do exactly that. Tatum playing like an MVP, though he's not listed in any of the MVP.
Did he have a triple-double?
He sure did. No, he's playing well. Pritchard and Derek White on volume of threes and percentage are
Pritchard's a joke.
David, they're doing Splash Brother numbers, like Steph and Clay from their peak. Yeah. Like that's what they're doing. They got Pritchard's Drew Holiday,
one of the best offensive players in the world right now.
So they're doing what they're doing. They're just Boston. Me is like, we're good. Call me in April when the real season begins.
All right, you said you didn't know what to say about Philly.
Yeah.
So let me entertain you with a very quick, famous family story that my brother just told us the other day. We all went out. My brother from Miami is in town with his wife and his kids, actually. As soon as we're done here, we're going to have brunch with them. And there's a great story where so my sister-in-law Amy, for 30 years now, they met in med school and they got med school 2 years early. She was at Princeton. Okay. Sorry, she was at Penn. Got into med school after 2 years of college. So crazy bright, right? Just like my brother, crazy bright. She's the daughter of a dentist, very, successful, polished, professional to the nth degree. Mm-hmm. And they went not too long ago. I mean, 10 years ago, 8 years ago. They went to go see a comedian named T.J. Miller. Do you know who T.J. Miller is?
I don't.
Have you ever seen the show Silicon Valley?
Yep.
So he's the heavy guy that was the incubator.
Okay.
He's actually very funny on the show, and he's a very funny comedian. And I guess he has a bit. I wasn't at this comedian. I'm getting to the Sixers in a minute. You'll know exactly where I'm going. He has a bit with a tuba where he has to give someone in the audience a tuba, and they have to play some things. Yeah. And he gave it to my lovely sister-in-law, Amy, who is the most professional, serious person. But I love her because she actually can let her hair down and really have a great time. And can be a princess, but not like she can also go to Jazz Fest in the mud and be very comfortable. It's one of the things I love about her. So she does the bit with the tuba. I think they make fun of her or whatever. She didn't care, but she's still the tuba in her hands. And so later on in the show, T.J. Miller is doing his routine, and some guy tries to heckle him to be funny. Yeah. And my sister-in-law plays that wah, wah on the tuba. And TJ went fucking crazy, like, oh my God, you're free for life coming to my show. So I tell you the story because when you say the words Philadelphia 76ers,
that's think, what you hear. Yep.
Just flat, just a joke. They're done.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, they're allowed to compete. And Embiid, when he's healthy, never. When he feels better anyway, beyond amazing. His metrics are, astoundingly down.
Yeah.
Understandably so. I feel for him. The Sixers crowd probably doesn't have much sympathy for him, but I do.
I do as well.
And, I mean, I won't watch this game.
Yeah.
The hope is everyone is healthy, and Philadelphia, when they're healthy, they can beat anyone because Joel, I mean, he is truly a one-of-a-kind first-ballot Hall of Famer talent.
He can make claim to best player in the world when he's healthy. He's one of the few people who can do that.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do about him. But it's hard. It's hard. Like I think I said in the show, he should go away for a year.
Yeah.
Go to the sun. Go swim. Go to every kind of healer you can imagine. Mm-hmm. See if you can't find you're just some health again. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, he's got to play on a cold Christmas day. Against that team. That's not fun.
Nope. Yeah. Not at all.
I looked up the last 10 games. They are maybe it's for the season. Boston's 8th on defense. So that's why we say cruise control.
Mm-hmm.
Because they could be top 2.
For sure.
with Minnesota when they want to be, and they probably will be.
Yep.
And so they will when it matters. I think they will when it matters.
I think so too.
Yeah. I think they are. I was talking to a Celtics player not too long ago, maybe this last week. Yeah, it was definitely this last week. And he was saying just every guy's the best guy. Specifically, this player was talking about Tatum. And just the grace he has shown, all the things that he's gone through, and the naysayers and whatever. This player, who's not that young, but relatively young, I mean, he's in 20s,
right?
Was just, all these guys are amazing, beyond amazing, but he has a special place in his heart for Tatum as a teammate because he could be a little surly. You understand it, a little standoffish, not at all. And boy, so if that's your best player,
correct,
who's just been so accommodating to everything, and yeah, they're primed to be really good when it matters.
Yeah, and I honestly, they don't need to make any moves or do anything. They are just fine exactly as they are. Look, we've mentioned this before. They won't do it, but Philly's got to start entertaining what the teardown looks like, because the fundamental question is, absent of doing what David said, which is let Embiid go away for a year and get himself right, which they won't do, how many games does he have left in that body? We don't know, right? Like, we have no idea.
So here's a question for you. So let's just, for fun, in 30 seconds, let's just entertain for 30 seconds. Where do you want Maxey to? Where would you want Maxey to go that makes sense for Philly? Also, I know what I want right away. We've already talked about it.
We've talked about this team already today. Oh, San Antonio.
Yeah.
Oh, could you imagine him and Vic? Holy shit! Talk about playoffs.
Yeah. And get some of their whatever, I don't know what stash of picks they have.
Cap filler that's expiring. Like, yeah, I love it.
There might be some other places that have better, like, New Orleans has more picks. I think maybe Utah has more picks. I don't really know how many picks the Spurs have. I think they have some good ones though.
I love that.
You don't want this year's pick. If Maxey goes there, they're right away going to be 45 wins or so, at least, maybe 50. So yeah, I think that'd be fun to get him with.
I like it. I love it. Yeah, and then Philly's got to figure out what they want to do there, and Daryl's got some work to do on that end. Look, 9.5, what I said, is a big number, but if Embiid and those guys I don't think Embiid is playing. I don't know yet, but I don't think so.
He just played the other day.
He did play the other day, but even still, I just, he's out. I think
Why?
That's what the injury report says right now. He's out.
I know, but it's just a few days away. I will say this. I'll leave it with this with Philly. I know you're going to pick Boston as I would too. I think Daryl's the best talent evaluator. Brad Stevens is right there with him, probably.
Yeah.
Not ironically.
Sam Presti not bad either.
Yeah, I think he's good too. I think Sam and I think Daryl and Brad are probably the best. And so I think he'll probably figure some stuff out. I do. He's got to get permission from his owner to do it, which I have no idea if they will or not. But yeah, that'd be, I would not be afraid to let Daryl start over, because he may not want to, by the way.
Oh yeah.
But I think he's really good at identifying talent for value, and could really be great, in 3-4 years if you let him rebuild it. That's what I think.
And the sad part also for Philly, the one bright spot they had, McCain. She's right, like that was he was playing so well. Right. It's like they have nothing bright shining to, like, okay, our hope is this. I mean, of course Maxey's awesome, but
the Eagles good?
I think so.
You don't know either.
I don't know, because I don't watch.
I love that we have no idea.
I'm like,
they could be 0-12, and or whatever. I would have no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea. But you know what? Jalen Hurts is very good, so I highly doubt that. Yes, my guess is the Eagles are very good. All right, folks, we'll be back.
I like the city
after a brief commercial break. All right, David. Now it's 8:00 now for this game. So on the East Coast. So you've eaten, you're starting to lay back in your lazy boy stuff. Everybody's, you're maybe a bourbon in now. You're really, some you older people might be starting to nod off a little bit in your chair or falling asleep. Listen, it's fine. It happens. This is what we do.
I feel like you're attacking me a little.
No.
The older person mentioned.
I might be falling asleep by this time too. Lakers at Warriors. Warriors are favored by 3.5 points. Look, the Lakers are kind of what I thought they'd be, which is, meh, right? Like, it's kind of meh. The Warriors started the year better than I thought they would. I was not high on them coming into the season. You were. So they started the year better than I thought.
I had them 40-something wins, though, so it wasn't like I was super high. Yeah.
And then they kind of went on this, like, terrible streak. They lost only 3 of their last 10, like, lost 6 or 7 in a row. Like, just not great. Got blew out by Memphis by 51. Look, of course, Steph is still great. But again, this team struggles to create offense at times when he is not at times. When he is not on the floor, that is still a problem for them. Podziemski is not as good as he was last year. Kuminga still up and down. Moody's been out. That's why they got Dennis Schroeder. He did not have a great debut against Memphis. Wiggins has been playing well, shooting 45% from 3, I want to say, this year.
He's playing great. Wiggins playing great.
He's been playing great.
Yeah.
But, so they're kind of...
All right, so last 10 games, the Lakers defense, number 8.
Ooh.
I thought, okay, that's interesting.
Offense not great.
30th.
Oh, well, there we go. I was like...
Dead last.
I was waiting for the shooter drop. There it is.
Yeah. For Golden State, last 10, defense 18th.
Right.
Offense 27th. Ooh.
Yeah. That is.
So it's the Lakers. It's the brand names, but not not scintillating offenses on either side. I think both teams can dig the way out. Golden State, I think, beat Minnesota.
Yes.
I watched the game
Sunday
last
night.
Yeah, Saturday night they beat Minnesota.
Oh yeah, Saturday night. Sorry, yes.
Yeah,
Saturday
night. And so I thought, okay, like maybe it's funny. Steve Kerr said Friday, basically, Looney, Green, Wiggins, Schroeder, Curry, my starting 5 the rest of the season, and then he changed it the very next game.
Of course,
Green was hurt, so he didn't. So he started Trace Jackson Davis and Kyle Anderson, and it worked. They actually had a great beginning in Minnesota. It was a kind of a clunker effort the whole game. I just think Golden State can figure some stuff out. Yeah. Podziemski's playing much better lately. He's shooting it much better lately, and that matters to that team. So they have guard depth behind now Dennis and Steph, and the Lakers they're really not very deep. They've not done a great job with that. No. Gabe Vincent's been a disaster. Coming off the injury of Miami, he's just been a real bad player for the Lakers. AD's been incredible. And LeBron, as we've talked about, better when he's off the court.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of a messy situation. We're seeing that kind of disintegration. I don't know what they're going to do, but for any one game, for the fans anyway, it'll be my last night with both my kids. I'm not too excited about any of these late games. I'm gonna try to see them, hang out with my kids. But
right.
Steph and LeBron could put on a show.
Yeah.
It'd be fun for them to put on a big show.
The Warriors, I think, made their big move, right? Getting Schroeder. That's, I think, what they did. Now, look, they could still do this, kind of going to move Kuminga, whatever, and maybe get somebody else. Maybe.
And that's a fair thing because he is really talented. He's one of the few downhill guys.
Mm-hmm.
And, but he also doesn't really fit the timeline. He's still a ways away from being a net positive player or a very good player anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, I could see see them moving him and getting some good pieces for it.
Yeah. And then the Lakers, I mean, you're not moving LeBron or AD, so I mean you should.
Probably not. Yeah.
But they're not going to.
Hachimura is been okay. About the same as before. He kind of is what he is now. But D'Lo's been down.
Yeah.
Yep. D'Lo's been way down from last year. He was such a good offensive player last year. This year he's not. Defensively, he's really bad. And they hired a brand new coach, and he's finding out it's not so easy.
Certainly not. Yeah. So, look, games at home. I expect both LeBron, AD as well, and Steph to play well on Christmas Day as they are wont to do. But I think Golden State's just a better team. And to David's point, they can dig deep. They have a defensive identity, even though I just said they got blown out by 51 points the other night. But they do have an ability to guard well. And I think, Schroeder might have something to prove against an old team he used to play for.
Right.
So I like Golden State to win that game and cover. All right, David, this game, by the time this tips off, this is for the sickos on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, it works for you because it's only 7 o'clock.
Great.
But if you're on the East Coast, man, you got to be a sicko like us to be up watching this game. Most people are passed out, 5 eggnogs in, the rum's running off the side of their face. Like, you're done. you're finished at this point. It is the Denver Nuggets at the Phoenix Suns. Nuggets are 1.5-point favorites. You and I were concerned about the Nuggets from the beginning, since last year and going into this year. Those concerns are still there. Now, they do have the world's best player, which covers over and makes lots of things look better than they actually are. Thank God for him, because had he not been there, this team was definitely squarely in the lottery. They're the worst team in basketball. There was talk about Zach LaVine, just to get scoring to help Jokic out. And you know me, David. The thought was, okay, you pair him, you move MPJ, and you pair him with Murray. And you know I don't like small backcourts. Small backcourts give me nightmares and make me very, very nervous. Particularly when the other half of your small backcourt is not playing like we saw him play when they went to their run to the championship. So I'm like, this does nothing. If you're going to move somebody, move Murray. At least MPJ's got size. He's 6'10". He can at least be big.
Who wants him, though?
Well, that's the question. Who wants him? Because he's not been playing well.
They paid a lot of money to be not good.
Yeah. Both of them, him and Murray, a lot of money to not be very good. So I don't know what you do there. The Suns, they're a health issue, right? When they play, they are great. When their 3 guys play, I think they've lost twice this season when all 3 guys play. When one of them misses, the ship falls off the cliff. And that's what's been the story. One of them misses a game, it's disaster central, because they have no depth behind them. And that's just the story when you have 3 guys. Devin's obviously 27, so he's younger, but 2 guys over 30 and KD's 35, and you pay that much money to, you got problems.
Yeah, I was watching them the other night. I thought they were playing Indiana in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Booker didn't play the second half. Indiana dominated. I'm not sure Phoenix ever led. I don't remember. But Indiana really dominated the game. And Booker didn't play in the second half, which helped because Indiana already had a double-figure lead. Phoenix made a nice little rally. I thought Siakam defended Pascal really, really well.
KD.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Defended KD very well. Other guys did too. I think Siakam had 25 and 18 rebounds, and KD had 37 points. He's just so ridiculous what this guy can do. It's truly extraordinary. Beal was really a non-factor. He might have played fine. I barely noticed him at all.
It was his first game back because he'd been out for a while.
Yeah, which is so understandably so. He's just an average player at best right now. And
not good for the money they're paying him.
Yeah, I know. They ran some good stuff. I liked what Phoenix did. And Indiana has now won 3 in a row, and they've won 3 straight road games. And you're starting to see Tyrese make shots more than once or twice in a quarter.
Yep.
Nemhard's back. Shepherd came back for that game. And not to get into a side tangent, but the NBA is so always about superstars, and they worry about ratings. Well, superstars are on bad teams or boring teams. At least the Pacers play a fun brand of basketball. It's not just threes.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. Last year, they're number 1 in paint scoring. They're not number 1 this year, but they're still a top 10 in paint scoring. And the ball's moving and flying. And they have all these scores, and they're actually playing better defense. They're not going to be playing on Christmas Day. Yeah, we're just. It's just about the stars.
Yeah,
it's always been the same thing, and I think we're all superstarred out.
I agree.
I'd rather see a better product than famous player. Anyway, I like what Bud's trying to do. They're just kind of a damaged squad.
David, when they play, they look awesome when all 3 guys when they're running their stuff. They look great. Sure. They just it's what we said. How many games are we going to get with the 3 of them playing? Yeah. And we are not a lot.
Yeah, Nurk, they got to get rid of Nurk. I don't know what they can do.
Yeah.
But that's a problem for them. Nurk and then Plumlee behind him. But no, I think that, Book is incredible. I think he's an underrated player. Mm-hmm. He's a superstar. He's not a superstar. He's a star. Mm-hmm. He probably should be a superstar. He's really super special player. He's one of the guys I find myself using most when I'm teaching, is clips of Book. Just super, super physical, fundamental, skilled, crafty, competitive. Yeah, he's got all of it. Yeah,
joy watching Book play. Really, real joy watching him play. Both. Yep.
And let me say this too. No sulking from KD.
No.
The guy scores 37. He didn't get much help. The Pacers are playing good D on him. Siakam's no easy person to guard or have guard you. And he just was given about 18-footers and 17-footers with people in his face and competing on defense, getting on the floor. And like the guy's trying, man.
They're playing. Listen, I think he loves the basketball situation there. I think, like everyone else, he wishes everybody could be healthy, himself included. But wishing that's not a plan, right? It's just
right.
I think things are what they are. I don't know. We mentioned the Suns trading Nurk. Maybe they can do something there. I don't know what the Nuggets do trade wise. But if they want to maximize the rest of Jokic's prime, they got to do something. Because I'm in full blown concern mode about Jamal Murray, full blown.
Yeah.
So and MPJ.
I was talking to our editor Travis the other day, and I did a piece on the championship bus and then the championship trailer behind the bus, and in that process he wanted to pin me down on certain targets for teams and. He likes to mention Zach LaVine often because
he's a Bulls fan and wants to get rid of him.
And I just don't think he's tradable. And you're hearing all these rumors about Zach LaVine. It should be a red stamp, like no, on his contract. Because, how would you ever assume he's going to be healthy enough to play?
All right, guys. I just want to thank all of our True Hoop listeners, subscribers this holiday season. I hope if those of you that celebrate, that you get to enjoy doing that. You spend some time with those you love and enjoy. Those of you not, who this time of year is difficult for, I hope you are able to find something that gives you joy during this time of year. Maybe it's NBA basketball. Maybe it's listening to us. We don't take that for granted. We appreciate all of our listeners, subscribers, all your comments and emails that you send through to us. We greatly appreciate what you do in this True community. We'll be doing more Ask Coach Thorpes going forward and getting you guys more engaged in the show content. This will be our last show of 2024. So we will see you guys in 2025. Have a super happy, healthy holiday season, and we will see you all next year. Take care.